Let's get lifted. Let's get lifted. Ooh. Hey, so it's time now for learning. And we like interactive learning, we like fun learning, but especially when we're celebrating Memorial Day weekend, we like to celebrate people who served, who took on risks to learn trades, to step into fields that were unknown territories. And one of those women that I would like for you to consider is brave Bessie. Bessie Coleman, born in 1893, passed away in 1926, an aviator. She was the nervy lady as well as the brave Bessie. She was the first licensed African-American pilot. Because her desire to enter flight school was denied in the United States on the basis of her race, that's the dog downstairs, on the basis of her race, her gender, or both, she had to train in France, where she received her license in 1921. She received her international pilot's license a year later. On returning to the United States, she planned to establish a flight school for Blacks, and she performed aviation stunts to raise money for the venture. But she bought 3 airplanes and began touring the country, and tragically, on April 30th, 1926, Coleman's plane crashed and she was killed. At one of her flying exhibitions, Coleman refused to perform unless Blacks were allowed to use the same entrance to the show as whites. A trailblazer, Bessie Coleman. So let's keep going with a few others, shall we? There's a man named Henry Flipper I'd like you to know. He was born in 1856, passed away in 1940. He was a military commander. Henry Flipper was the first Black to graduate from the U.S. Military Academy at West Point. He was the first Black to be assigned to a command position in a Black unit following the Civil War. However, Flipper became the victim of a controversial court-martial proceeding. He was charged with conduct unbecoming to an officer and a gentleman and received a dishonorable discharge. Despite repeated attempts to vindicate himself at the time of his death, he still had not cleared his record. Years later, however, the sentence was reversed. He was awarded an honorable discharge posthumously, and his remains were reburied with full honors at Arlington Cemetery. As a civilian, Flipper worked for the U.S. Department of Justice as a special agent. His fluency in Spanish and in saving thousands of acres of disputed land in the Southwest, his published translation of Spanish and Mexican law continue to be standard reference material today. Henry Flipper, Bessie Coleman. Learning is fun. Learning is a part of our legacy. Celebrate yourself. Celebrate others. Let's get live tonight on these ABCs. ABC.